Before we actually get into linking a CAD file, let's discuss the reasons for actually doing so. Firstly, we want to use or reuse existing CAD details. If you're transitioning from a CAD system where you do have an extensive library of details, maybe the easiest option for you is to actually link those CAD files into your Revit project. This would be especially easier if you still have projects that are being done in that same CAD system. So this workflow may make your transition easier. Secondly, there's using architects' floor plans. Now I can hear you asking, why on earth would you want to link architects' 2D floor plans into a Revit model? And that may be for a variety of reasons. For example, the main project architect is actually doing his project in Revit, although he's subcontracted the interior fit-out to another architectural company who doesn't use Revit. In fact, they're not using a modelling package at all. They're doing everything in 2D. And the other option is that you're working with architects who aren't even producing a model at all. And finally, there's the architect who agrees to give you a Revit model, but he stipulates at the start of the project that the drawings he issues to you are the contractual documentation, and these 2D plans could be different from the model. Whatever the reason for linking CAD files, you may actually want to do a tidy up before you link them into your precious Revit model, because let's face it, with all the best intentions in the world, sometimes the architect's model or the architect's 2D CAD file isn't the tidiest of things that he sends you. So in this exercise, I want to explore some of the prerequisites before we link that CAD file. I want to clean up the architect's file or the architect's floor plan before it gets anywhere near my project. The architect has provided me with some drawings for the project. And in this exercise, I'm going to deal with this DWG called Messy Level 1. And I'm also going to treat this as though I don't have access to AutoCAD at all, or any other CAD system apart from the software I have open right now, which is Revit MEP. So to work with this file, I'm going to create a new Revit project. Although this time, rather than using any one of the predefined templates, I'm going to go with the None option. I'm going to click on OK, and then define the unit of measurement. I'm going to select metric. This starts me off with a completely blank project. If we look under families, we can see that there are no loadable families. And we only have one floor plan and one ceiling plan for level 1. And although I said this exercise is about linking CAD files, the very first thing I'm going to do is go to the Insert tab and import a CAD file. At this point, I'll browse to my Chapter 4 folder, the DWGs folder, and my Messy Level 1. Before clicking on the Open button, I'm going to check a few things. The positioning. I want this to be at origin to origin. The colours. I'm only interested in black and white. I'd like all the layers. And for the import units, I'm going to hope that the architect has defined his drawing correctly, but maybe what I will uncheck is this box for correcting lines that are slightly off axis, because maybe those lines that aren't quite straight are meant to be. Now let's click on Open. If I right-click and zoom to fit, you can see that we've got a messy drawing. So with this file, I'm going to select the drawing file, and from the contextual toolbar, I'm going to click on Explode. This is a little like exploding elements in AutoCAD. Now if I scroll in, we'll be able to select elements and see that they have a line style that is reflected from the layer that they were on originally. What I do want to do now is delete all the elements that I don't need. Now if I do a selection window at this point, you can see that I'm not actually selecting anything. What I do need to do is change the discipline of this view to coordination, and you can see the lines are now as a solid black line, and now I'm free to select them and then delete them. Let's zoom to fit and do that process again. I can now click on zoom to fit. I have my floor plan layout, but I don't want to keep this as Revit entities. I still want to use this as a DWG. So my next process is to go to the application button, click on export, and then click on CAD formats. I'm going to select DWG, select the current view only, click on next, and then save this. In this exercise, I'll save it to my project folder. And I'll call this floor plan level 1. I can now close this file without saving and use the floor plan level 1 that I've just exported as a DWG in future exercises.